Good morning, all. Good morning, everybody. This is Nilesh on behalf of Sam. If you guys can listen me, if just post your message in the text box. We have quite a few people signed in for this presentation, so we are just waiting for them. I can see a lot of people are coming online right now. Good morning, all. Those who have just signed in, this is Nilesh on behalf of Sam. Due to some family emergency, Sam could not join this morning. I am an external presenter and trainer for Sam's company and Sam's training IT guru. So I'm going to take you through the orientation for this course, what we are offering. I do apologize, as I said, please accept our sincere apology as Sam cannot be here today. But we will be starting with this in just a couple of minutes, as I can see a lot of people are still signing in. Just please bear with us. Okay, so we are going to kick off now. Well, if anybody joins later, then they will be starting from that point of time. Now, as I said earlier, please accept our sincere apology as Sam has some family emergencies to address, so he couldn't be here this morning. My name is Nilesh, and I am an external trainer, and I work with Sam for this course. This course is designed by me. Basically, this is an orientation session for those who are interested in kickstarting their IT career in the field of cloud computing, automation, DevOps, or those who are already working in IT but have never worked in cloud or never done any role which has DevOps practices to be followed. It's purely technical course, and 80% of our content is hands-on, practical, lab-based course content. So we believe that doing is the best way to learn new skills. Okay, so let's start with I keep seeing more people joining, so just a second, yeah. Okay. As you can see on the screen, all of you, can you view my screen? Yeah, I have shared it. I hope everybody can see my screen, yeah? Cool. Still more people are joining. Okay, so I'm a self-motivated individual who works as a DevOps practitioner and cloud consultant. I do offer various trainings on automation, cloud computing, and DevOps, as well as I do consulting. I work with Sam on time-to-time basis to deliver some courses. This is one of the courses we deliver for complete beginners, as well as people who are already in IT. And if there is a demand for them to learn specific content or specific topic, we do design for them as well. Today's session is purely for giving you a bit more details about why we have designed this course and what type of skills are in demand, why people are interested in learning new skills, and there is a huge gap of skilled people in the market. So to start with, I always play a small video, which is going to be the next thing.
If you're watching this, you're among the 3% of people that understand that the future of work is going to look very different from what it is now. So keep watching. Let's see where we're heading. It's also exciting, right? Siri will recognize your voice even if you're 5 meters away from your phone. That new chatbot feels totally real. Self-driving cars are no longer fiction. You can analyze your DNA. You tried flying that drone for the first time, and you're thinking of buying a smart speaker to make your life so much easier. A few years from now, and that's something like 3 years, not 30, artificial intelligence, robotics, machine learning, mass 3D print, biotechnology, chatbots, virtual reality, deep learning, drones, augmented reality, smart objects will all be deeply enrooted in our everyday lives. Just like computers, phones, or electricity are for us today. Oh well, is this really going to happen? And if it does, you'll adapt when the time comes, right? Life is good. You love your job. You've been working for this established company for a few years. You're comfortable in your position. You know what you're good at. People like you. And that last presentation you gave got you some amazing reactions. You're safe with your company. In the meantime, you see an article or two speculating on the future of jobs. McKinsey published a report stating that 45% of all current tasks could be automated with present technology. The World Economic Forum estimates that 33% of jobs in 2020 don't even exist yet. But what do they know, right? You've got time. Oh look, the supermarket just introduced self-cashier machines. You're at the airport checking in luggage. What the heck happened to all the real people at the check-in desk? Gone. Replaced by machines. But it's only the low-skilled jobs, right? Nope, think again. In 2012, there were 150,000 humans working on Wall Street. 3 years later, automation has cut that number down to 100,000. That's 1/3 gone. But it's only the mathematical and scientific jobs, right? Nope, think again. This Japanese insurance company, Fukuoka Mutual Life Insurance, is already replacing all its human insurance claim workers with an AI system that will handle customers more efficiently. See these articles? They're written by algorithms, and we can't tell the difference with human written content. And thinking of converting yourself to being an online poker player? Too late. There's an AI that can already beat humans at it. Most journalists, tax consultants, marketeers, technicians, knowledge workers, lawyers, even the person editing this video right now will to some extent have been impacted or automated by technology in a couple of years. And what have you been doing? Probably watching Netflix. And the problem is the machines don't wait. And the machines, they don't watch Netflix. So what are the forces at play here? Basically, there's 10 million developers out there using increasingly simple and cheap technology to build new products and services. Some as young as 12 are already coding the future. Even that safe company you work for is increasingly under outside threat. And it's not just the Google, Amazon, Facebooks, and Apples of the world that I'm talking about. There are now tens of thousands of startups out there eating away at all sorts of jobs. Now, are they creating many jobs in the process? Let's look at some stats. Travel a bunch of years back to when Kodak ruled the world of photography. They were worth $38 billion and employed 140,000 people. That's approximately $270,000 per employee.
Our people work with pride to make Kodak a creative and innovative company.
Fast forward to recent times, YouTube sold for $1.65 billion with a mere 65 employees. That's $25 million per employee. Instagram, which had 13 employees and was sold for $1 billion. That's $77 million per employee. WhatsApp sold for $19 billion with 55 employees. That's a staggering $345 million per employee. So how is this all possible? Technology has allowed the emergence of what we call exponential organizations. These are exponentially fast-growing companies that leverage technology and require less employees, but more tech-savvy ones.
You will find that we are technology optimists. We believe that technology is a major driver of change in the world.
And as software continues to eat up the world, more companies are trying to replicate these exponential companies, hire less people, but grow exponentially through technology. As this happens, job roles are slowly disappearing and being replaced by skill sets. Employers require you to know an ever-growing number of new and ever-changing fundamental skills in order to use the technologies they've implemented. Master the fundamentals, and you can master the rest. A digital skills gap is growing for both mid-skill and high-skill level jobs. Before you know it, you've become irrelevant. But wait, what's this doomsday message? There's actually a way to leverage technology before it leverages you. And in fact, it's never been easier to do so. This might sound kind of corny, but it starts with the right state of mind. It starts with having a growth mindset, where you have the desire and the confidence that you can learn anything. Shift your thinking on how these technologies will rattle and mutate, but enrich your work life. Because yes, if you play your cards right, technology will make your work life and your life in general much, much better. The fact is that technology will actually remove boring, repetitive jobs from your way, but only if you understand the fundamentals. And you have no excuse not to do so. How can you stay relevant if you can't talk the lingo? How can you stay relevant if you can't execute? Can you talk tech? Can you talk APIs? Can you talk code? Can you talk data? While slow educational institutions are struggling to keep up, that's not an excuse. Train yourself. Take your education in your own hands. Learn to code. Learn about behavioral psychology, automation tools, playing with data, user experiences. Be curious. And if you're an employer, train your people. Online and offline courses have never been more readily available or rich in content. It's time to build something. Your greatest credential in this new era is your output of stuff. Proof of your awesomeness. A website, a blog, a prototype, a simple data model. It's time to build cool stuff and showcase it. It's time to start learning. It's time to get shit done. It's time for your growth. If you're watching this,
okay. So main takeaway from that presentation was to understand there is this demand of skills in the market, and it's growing every day, every minute, and every second. So if you learn the right skills at the right time, you will be able to explore more opportunities in the area of IT or any other technology field. You might have already seen that the information technology and the automation is influencing every single industry: education, health, finance, even now the home appliances and the automobile. What we are teaching here is we are helping people to learn fundamentals and kickstart their career in IT for the modern technologies, not only old school, because old school technologies are irrelevant nowadays. Even government around the world are adopting new technologies such as cloud computing, having not investing a lot of money upfront and trying and testing various options instead of investing a lot of money upfront, and then they are locked into something which they don't want to continue using it. Okay, so here I'm going to share some of my credentials, which has helped me become more employable and have increased my income as well. and that's the norm. Research says that more than 72% of the organizations are interested in hiring certified professionals who proves that they are interested in learning new skills and making sure they help organizations to maintain their businesses at low cost. I have few AWS accreditations which I have recently done in the last couple of years, but I started from 2014, and it has helped me growing my business day by day. Okay, so in this presentation, we will go through why AWS cloud computing needs it has more importance in the industry, why we should learn AWS and other relevant services they are offering. Second thing, we will be highlighting the way automation works, and automation is not for reducing jobs, but it is for making sure that the work we do is of good quality, and it doesn't break often, or it gives you more fluency to maintain their business or business model or business services. Okay, starting with why AWS. You can do this research by your own as well after the presentation, but what our research says, if you are certified and if you possess important skills in cloud computing area, your chances of getting jobs and higher pays are 30% or more compared to other equivalent people in industry. So that's the reason we always encourage people to learn skills and go for certification. Even AWS themselves are hiring people who are certified around the globe. So you might get an opportunity to work with the cloud provider themselves, and a lot of other organizations around the world, in England and around the world, are hiring people who are certified. I mean, you can also do your research after this presentation, as I say. Now, why cloud computing has become more relevant, and what is cloud computing? Basically, in old days, when companies were setting up their own infrastructure, they were buying servers, the networking kits, they were hiring professionals who can go to data center and install those kits. And that was like too much of a cost up front. But the cloud computing is somebody like AWS or any other provider takes that pain. They do implement these facilities at very large scale, and then they offer pay-as-you-go services for various compute, storage, and networking resources. Right now, there are many providers in the market. AWS is one of the leading cloud provider. Compared to them, Azure, Google Cloud, IBM, Bluemix, and other providers are there who are offering similar services. But if you look at the history, in last 9 years, AWS has been consistently awarded as a leader for infrastructure as a services in the cloud. Now, AWS has evolved themselves by offering new services, very quality new services, as well as maintaining quality for their services, and they are offering services across the globe. So most of the organizations who wants to implement their services at a global level, for them, providers like AWS are the easy pick, because they offer as all their services on a pay-as-you-go model. Plus, they don't have to worry about paying upfront, and they can maintain and deliver services in a specific region of the world. So that is being the most important feature, and there are many services they have evolved. You can do your own research, but this was done by the Gartner independent researcher, and they have consistently awarded AWS as a leader of the cloud computing. Also, 2 years back, you can see on the left there is a slide from 2017. There were a lot of providers in those days, but recently when the report was published, you can see that only few providers have sustained this market, and some of them are nowhere in the research. They haven't maintained minimum quality of services, or haven't evolved enough to be as a part of this this research. Okay, second thing. Now, as I just mentioned earlier, there were old style services where organizations were building their own infrastructure, ground up, buying kits and everything. What we are going to address in this presentation is like second, third, and fourth column. We will be highlighting those services, and all the participants will able to learn the main difference between the on-premise infrastructure as well as the cloud-based infrastructure. What are their responsibilities? Shared responsibility model, which helps them to grow quickly without worrying about the failures in the data centers, a power failure or cooling system is not working effectively, or sudden growth, sudden surge into the demand of services, and they have to grow quickly, like 10 times or 20 times or 100 times. The cloud services are most commonly used services nowadays, as they are flexible and you can grow dynamically, and you don't have to pay for the services when they are not running, and you only pay for the services when they're running. So that particular model has become more attractive for various providers, and they run their services in cloud, and they build their services cloud agnostic. And that's what we are going to learn throughout this course. Again, when those people who are completely new and complete beginners, if you look at the rightmost column, where software as a service, you can see, you can compare that with the email services you use. Like, for example, you use Gmail or Yahoo or any other email services. You are a consumer of that service. You don't have to worry about anything, and your service always works. People who are using WhatsApp for chatting, you are a consumer for that service. You don't have to worry about it. It always works. So those type of services fall into this category, like software as a service. Working as a cloud engineer or automation engineer, it is required you to have enough knowledge around services offered by the cloud providers, so that you can help and you can contribute as an engineer within the team, saying that for this particular requirement, we can use this. Second thing is a platform as a service, where you worry about your applications and the data related to that, but you don't have to worry about any infrastructure requirements such as network throughput or bandwidth or DNS or hard disk or storage capacities. You don't worry about it. You are implementing a service where you are only worried about applications and data. So AWS, Azure, Google, all of them are providing these services. And the second option is infrastructure as a services, where we will be learning a lot how to build your infrastructure ground up in AWS, having a blank slate, and then you start building bits and pieces to build your infrastructure around at the global scale, which has high availability, fault tolerance, and performance available as per the requirement. So these are the three models which are more commonly used nowadays. Also, those companies who have sensitive data and they are following their best practices, they need a bit of both. They need their on-premise infrastructure, and they need cloud-based as well to grow and to deliver those services which are less sensitive, but which are which are public, which services are public-facing, and public and normal people are using those services. But there are some sort of information and data internal to the organization. So they use bit of both, and that particular model is known as a hybrid cloud. So if you come across the terms like that, hybrid cloud or infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, don't worry about it. We will be covering them at a good level, and you will be able to build your infrastructure ground up in AWS when we will complete this course. It's a 3 months course, and we will give a bit more detail towards the end of this presentation. Okay, who is not able to listen to me? Yeah, everybody, I guess most of the people are able to listen. Only one person is complaining. Okay, perfect. So I'll move on then. Now, among those different cloud providers, AWS, as we saw, is consistently being a leader of the market, and it has captured more than 33% of the market. The reason behind is AWS is constantly evolving new services, and those services are for consumers and for service providers, for new startups. They have delivered new services recently for artificial intelligence, machine learning, security-based services to maintain integrity and security for the data, and a lot of other services. You don't have to learn all of them as a part of this course. We will be going through some minimum required services and master those services during the course. But you can do a bit of research why AWS has become more and more common for most of the organizations where they want to use cloud. The growth as well, Amazon is consistently growing. Worldwide revenue for Amazon is consistently maintained at a level, and they are growing quarter by quarter, day by day. Again, lots of educational institutes, government departments, and other private organizations are adopting AWS as a standard for their own infrastructure because of the reasons they are offering best services among other cloud providers. Plus, they have more options for various services. And as the growth happens, they are able to offer services at lower cost. This is the first cloud provider I have ever seen who is reducing their cost as their growth happens. And they have 5 times more capacity around the globe compared to the demand right now. So what they're doing is they're putting more efforts to build their services at robust and at high scale, good quality, best quality. Plus, they are maintaining the scale of the demand. Like at any point in time, what they are saying, they have 5 times more capacity than the current consumption of their services. So that is an outstanding performance and outstanding services, I would say. Okay, so this is another just fact about the revenue forecast for the cloud. You can see that people are forecasting more and more revenue happening in the cloud services because there are more people investing in cloud, and you can clearly see that when the forecast is strong, when the investment is strong, there will be a clear demand of people who knows these cloud services. And that is the main reason we are highlighting and we are promoting this course and making sure that people learn right skills at the right time, so that when the demand is surging, which is already happening now, they are ready for the new job or new opportunity or new business they want to start. Okay, now we'll just briefly go through a couple of things. Again, one of the facts which you need to understand why the demand is there for the cloud-based services. As you can see from the slide, where if you don't use cloud, your investment is very high in the beginning. You have to wait for your services to be ready, sometimes between 4 to 8 weeks. And also once the services are ready, you need to get your internal staff, start consuming those services and deploying your services so that you can offer those services to your customers and clients and public facing. If you are using cloud-based infrastructure, that waiting of 4 to 8 weeks is no longer required. You can straight away get the services, and it's a pay-as-you-go model. You don't have to pay anything upfront. Once you have skilled people in your team who can build your services in cloud, such as AWS, then you can go live within hours, not even days. Also, from day one, as soon as you subscribe, as soon as you sign into AWS, you are able to build your services across the globe. You don't have to worry about disaster recovery too much until and unless you have a replication of big chunk of data happening across regions or across data centers. AWS offers such a high availability services at global scale from day one. You don't have to worry about it. Those who have already worked in IT and were worried and thinking and planning about the disaster recovery sites will be able to understand how much pain you have to face when the stateful information has to be maintained, when the data needs to be replicated. Also, just for putting your site for web applications live at the global scale, how important it is. Like these cloud-based services are more relevant and they make more sense compared to old school data centers. So yeah, we will learn about it, how to build your services across the multiple regions for your for your business. Okay, now on the certification side for the cloud, this course which we are okay, on the slide, wherever you are seeing 3 green ticks, those are the ones which I have passed those certifications successfully, and I help people to pass the certification so that they can kickstart their career, or they can enhance or explore or accelerate their career for what they're doing. The particular course which we are offering will cover the foundational level contents and certification for that. So anybody who is joining this course, at the end of the course, they will be able to successfully pass this foundation level certification. And if you are a bit more into it, if you have used AWS a little bit, then we will also help you to achieve one of the associate. But we cannot promise and guarantee anything right now, because this course is designed for complete beginners or somebody who has some experience in IT, but they want to learn AWS and cloud-based services to move on to the next step in their career. So mainly we will be focusing on the foundation level course. Also, the good thing is, if you are doing a foundation level course, which we are offering during this training, it will cover 40 to 50% of the content already for any of the associate level course. So the content which we are offering during this training is getting you ready about 50% for any of the associate course, but you will be 100% ready for the foundation level course. Next. Now, what I am talking about is, like, there are lots of opportunities, there are lots of jobs around in the market, but at the same time, you can also go online and check this on this website, IT Job Watch, or any other placement agencies or any other websites which are populating roles and in-demand skills for IT, and you will see that lots and lots of jobs are highlighted in market where they are saying AWS-based services are in demand. This particular slide is from last year, March 2018, where I would like to just highlight the numbers. You can do your research a bit more after the presentation. But on the right top corner, if you see that the Amazon AWS were like around 2,000 jobs were live last year in March. And if you see recently, you can see it has gone up. You can see that more and more services and more employers are looking for certified AWS professionals and individuals who might have some experience or might not have any experience. It is more important for a newcomer to understand that if you have any background in IT, which is good, but if you don't have any background in IT, still you can pursue a new career in IT. So in IT, every few years, new services and new technologies are coming in demand, and it gives opportunities to those individuals who are very passionate, who are very enthusiastic in learning new skills. And I have seen lots of people have pursued a career in IT after passing their college or university for 9-10 years. They were not doing anything in IT because there were not much demand in those days. But all of a sudden they come back, they do this course, they do certification, and they get off to the start with the job in IT. So it has happened, and it is happening now. So don't worry about anything. If whether you have a background or not, you will able to start a successful career in IT if you stick to this course. And the main thing is you have to work hard. I mean, there is no option. Working hard and learning new skills are the two important things to get jobs in IT. Again, yeah, these are a few other research-based statistics. You can also check the type of jobs they are offering and the amount of salaries are offered around. 90% of the jobs and 10% of the jobs, like percentile. You can do research about various agencies, how they're offering the jobs for AWS. Okay, moving on. The course, Sam has already shared the complete list of the topics we are going to learn. These are some of them. During the foundation course of AWS, we will be learning these important services from AWS, such as AWS Global Infrastructure, the shared responsibility, how to manage different services and access to those services. For every cloud provider, they have their own model for controlling and managing services and permissions to those services. We will be covering them in detail during this course. And I would say at this point, don't worry too much about it. As we progress to the course, you will see how easy it is to pick things up, because due to modern way of doing things, things have become more and more simpler compared to what it was 15, 20 years back. It was more complex, and the number of days and amount of money to be invested to get the services up and running was huge. But due to cloud computing, and especially through the cloud providers such as AWS, Google, Azure, they have brought these services to, and they're offering this mission critical services to people who want to master the skills and build their services online. Next, so in this session, I'm going to quickly highlight, as a part of automation, what we will be learning. Once we will be comfortable with the basics of the cloud computing in AWS, we will be automating various services and build our infrastructure ground up using some of the tools and techniques available. And believe me, all of you will be able to master these skills. It's very easy, simple. Basic understanding is required. For example, if anybody who is trying to drive a car for the first time and learning how to drive, it is always difficult. Sometimes, you know, you have to go through a lot of things on the day one, but slowly and gradually, when you learn how to drive and you are comfortable with the road situation and conditions, you are comfortable with the car driving at different speeds, then how easy it is. Yeah. So it's similar to that. It may look a bit complicated in beginning or may not, but I promise you will be able to master the skills at the end of the course, and we help you at every single stage of the course. If you don't understand, we revise, we repeat, we give you more and more exercise, more situations to do troubleshooting and things like that. So what is infrastructure automation? The infrastructure automation is a process for scripting out your and provisioning of resources to build different environments. Those who are working in IT might be aware of the development environment, a testing environment, a pre-production environment, and the production environment. There are different areas where you have to build your services so that developers and testers can work into your organization. Throughout this course, we will learn how to build infrastructure in cloud ground up, but at the same time, we will learn how to automate by scripting it using various scripting or document languages such as YAML, JSON, and also if everybody is up to speed towards the end of the course, we will offer a free course on HashiCorp of Terraform, how to build same services using multiple different options. So if you stick to the course, and as I said, it's going to be hard work, but it is possible. It's basically getting around and being fluent towards the new terms and new technology. It is possible, yeah. What are we learning? What we will be learning during this course? So you might have heard or might not have heard about these different terms. Don't worry about it. If you have heard, it is good. If you don't have heard about these terms and different logos, don't worry about it. We will be using YAML and JSON for our automation part mostly. YAML has become more popular. It's known as a documentation language, but it is also very, very common nowadays. Whether if you have heard about Kubernetes, all the Kubernetes deployments and configurations are available in YAML. If you have heard about Ansible, Ansible is also using YAML at heart for automating and config management. Puppet is also using Puppet. We are not going to cover Puppet in this course. We are going to cover Ansible for as a config management tool. If you have heard about GitLab, GitLab is a source control system. It is also offering a continuous integration tool such as GitLab CI, and all your jobs and automation is scripted in YAML. So if you know YAML and JSON at good level, you have mastered those skills for scripting anything you like in the config management, into CloudFormation, which is the tool offered by AWS, which will help us to automate building our infrastructure ground up just by scripting it. Yeah. So I always put give more importance to YAML and JSON. If you are able to grasp those two, especially YAML, then you will be able to learn all those tools very easily, such as GitLab, Ansible, playbooks for that. And also, if you, after this course, if you're trying to pursue and learn new skills, which are like Kubernetes, highly available, immutable infrastructure, delivering using either a Kubernetes, a Docker Swarm, or Nomad, then also you can learn them once you have the basics done. The important takeaway is, if you get your basics right, if you understand the fundamentals, you will be able to learn new skills by your own. And our main focus is to help people becoming independent. After doing this crash course, initial course for 3 months, what we want is everybody will be confident. They will be able to learn new skills by themselves. They will be trained to absorb new terms and new technology. Basically, you have to be open-minded, think outside the box. These are the terms people use, but also these are the ways you can leverage and learn new technology and new skills. It's more about the skills than the technology, but I'm sure, I'm confident you all will be able to learn this and master it during the course. Towards the end of the course, we will be offering a project at the completion of the successful. Once we will complete the course successfully, everybody will be offered a project. And once you complete the project, we will offer references. And we will also put you in touch with the agencies as and when they come across for the new roles and requirements. Being said that, Linux is going to be most important core part. We are not going to master Linux during this course. But what we want to do is every student who joins this course needs to have big fluency in Linux, right? In the command line utility. Because the command line becomes more and more important for engineers, DevOps engineers, cloud engineers, software testers, automation engineers. If you are able to deal with the systems in the command line, CLI-based interface, you will be able to troubleshoot and fix problems quicker than anything else. We cannot rely on the UI-based interfaces all the time, because the core engineering and core learning is all, the strength and the power is with the command line utilities. So that's what we are adding this Linux as a part of the course, where we don't have to master it, as I said earlier, but we have to be very fluent dealing with different situations through command line interface. Okay, I'm going to run a quick short video why Linux is also important, and we'll take it from there.
You use Linux every day, whether you know it or not. Over 850,000 Android phones running Linux are activated every single day. Compare that to just 30,000 Windows phones, according to the latest reports. That means 100 Android devices have come online just since you started watching this video. Nearly 700,000 TVs are sold every day, most of which are running Linux. 8 out of 10 financial trades are powered by Linux. 9 out of 10 of the world's supercomputers run Linux. Google, Twitter, Facebook, and Amazon are all powered by Linux. So, how was Linux developed to achieve all of this? Unlike other operating systems, like Windows or iOS, Linux is built collaboratively across companies, geographies, and markets, resulting in the largest collaborative development project in the history of computing. Just since 2005, about 8,000 developers from almost 800 companies have contributed to the Linux kernel. These contributions have resulted in 15 million lines of code, 1.5 million lines written in just the last couple of years. Consider that Homer's epic Iliad poem is a mere 15,000 lines of text. The novel War and Peace, just 560,000 words. But it's not just about the sheer number of lines of code. It's also about how quickly Linux is developed and released. For example, a major new kernel comes out every 2 to 3 months. Compare this to years for competing operating systems. This is made possible by a unique collaborative development process. When submitting code to the Linux kernel, developers break changes into individual units called patches. A patch describes the lines that need to be changed, added, or removed from the source code. Each patch can add a new feature, new support for a device, fix a problem, improve performance, or reword things to be more easily understood. Developers post their patches to the relevant mailing lists, where other developers can reply with feedback. When the patch is close to being release ready, it is accepted by a senior Linux kernel developer, or maintainer, who manages one or more of 100 different sections of the kernel. While this isn't a guarantee that it will go to the main line, it's certainly a good sign. Here it gets an even more extensive evaluation. When the maintainer finishes their review, he or she will sign off on the patch and send it on to Linux creator and Linux Foundation fellow Linus Torvalds, who has the ultimate authority on what is accepted into the next release and what is not. Nearly 10,000 patches go into almost every new release. About 6 patches are applied to the kernel each hour. Linux's rate of development is simply unmatched. Today, Linux is dominating on mobile devices, in the enterprise, and web infrastructure, data centers, supercomputing, and more. What's next? Because together, we're ready.
Okay, right. So it was just a short clip about showing the power of Linux, and today will be just, somebody's asking that how long it will be. It's just, we are nearly finished. We will be finishing in about 10 minutes, and then we will have questions open. All right. So now we have covered why cloud computing is more important for people who are looking for career opportunities. And second, automation. We will be learning automation and different skills, different techniques, different tools as per this slide I have shown before. It's more important. We will be learning source control system. We will be learning config management system, CI/CD tools, scripting your infrastructure using YAML and JSON. We'll be mastering our skills on command line utility, and also a bit of containerization and time, if time permits. We will be going through HashiCorp config language and build the same infrastructure using Terraform. Okay, coming back to what is DevOps now, okay? So we have, as a part of this course, we will be practicing DevOps. Now, DevOps is, sure, yeah, somebody is asking that will I be able to share links for the videos I am playing up. I'm going to definitely share those links after this presentation, yes. Okay, so what is DevOps mainly? It's, you might have seen a lot of job opportunities are highlighting that DevOps engineer, DevOps practitioner, DevOps specialist, lots of those things, yeah. Now, DevOps term has been evolved by 2 different areas, which is like developers and operations. If you look at the old school IT services companies, they have development teams and they have operations teams. They were working in silos. They were working independently. The developers were given tasks to develop different services, and then once they are ready, they test it in their own laptop or their own computer, and they say our services are ready to go live, and then they hand it over to operations teams, and operations teams will be trying to implement those services, and then they will start seeing problems, because one of the important thing is there's the developers who have developed their service has never been tested in a production-like environment. And that was one of the most fundamental issue for those organizations where they want to go live, they want to put their services in front of the customer so they can get more revenue generated for this. But nobody was taking IT as a serious component of the business. Information technology is more serious and important than, and equally, it should be given equal opportunity to grow and stabilize in organizations. Yeah, you can't just say, okay, IT, we will buy servers and we will install this application, it will work. That is fine, but if you want to handle the growth, if you want to maintain integrity, stability, you want to scale globally, or you want to scale your services across multiple tiers, multiple verticals of your business, then you have to make sure that things are done right. And that's the reason you might have seen in the last 10 years, DevOps practices has become more common. Now, DevOps is not a tool. DevOps is not a skill. A lot of people ask me, what is DevOps? Like, DevOps is a title for the work practices which has to be implemented for organic growth of IT services within organizations or across organizations, yeah, where different teams break the silos and work together from beginning. So what happens when the developers are good developers, they develop it. Operations engineers are good at operating and maintaining their services, but there is a gap in the market. People who know how, there's a gap in the market for people with the right skills who can understand the source control system and collaboratively work together with developers, testers, and operations teams. And there where the DevOps engineers come into play, where DevOps engineers take a part into different teams, and they might, if the company is small, they might have one DevOps engineer across multiple teams. And if a company is bigger, they have more developers, they might have embedded DevOps engineer in each team. And those skills which we have highlighted earlier are very vital and important to learn for those engineers who wants to become a cloud engineer or a DevOps engineer or an automation engineer. So they can tell developers and testers, they can influence them, say, okay, we should use it. Most of the developers are well aware of the source control system and these concepts, but they are busy writing the quality of code, and they want someone to take care of integrating these services towards the final goal, so they can move from development to operations in a smoother way. Somebody's asking me, do we need to be Java? No, not at all, not at all. So this course, in the world of DevOps, there are few variants of it. For example, some DevOps engineers are coming from a development background. They do develop a bit more, but you don't need to learn Java, Ruby, Python, or any other language to become a successful DevOps engineer from the operations side. We will be learning AWS as a cloud platform. So you will learn all equivalent to Java, who is coming, the developers are coming from the development background. They do DevOps stuff because they are developing applications. During this course, you don't need, there are no basic requirements apart from you should be able to operate your own computer. You should be able to install softwares on your computer. You should be able to create new users on your computer and give permission. So if you have basic knowledge, if you are able to use email as a service for communication, you are able to understand basics about the IT. We are going to cover all the other fundamental skills required to learn automation, cloud engineering, and DevOps stuff from the operations point of view. So no, the answer is no. Nobody needs to know any programming language to become a DevOps engineer. From the operations side, yeah. We will be covering from the operations side of the DevOps stuff and the cloud engineering. Okay, is that, oh, okay, it's a Giriraj, yeah. Is that answer your question? Yeah, okay, cool. That's fine. Okay, moving on. These are the roles. So previously what we saw, there are lots of demand for people with the skills of cloud computing, AWS, which we will be mastering at the basic level, foundation level. And if you master them, that is one thing down, one important thing done. And the second thing is, if you learn about automation and if you learn about other skills which we were talking about, apart from the cloud computing, if you learn GitLab, if you learn Ansible, if you learn JSON, YAML, bit of Docker, then you will be able to, with the same skills, you will be able to apply for the DevOps roles as well. Okay, so it's all about skills. The first video I presented was highlighting that there is a huge gap of skilled people in the market. And believe me, there is nobody who will be able to do everything at the one time. Yeah, you can't do everything at one time. You learn different skills and then you apply those skills to deliver a particular piece of work or particular task. Having said that, the most in-demand skills are cloud computing, automation tools. You need to learn how to automate provisioning of infrastructure and deployment of services. And at the same time, if you master the way you work as a DevOps engineer in a mixed culture, it's a cultural change. Not only one person will be able to do everything. Developers, testers, product owners, scrum masters, and the DevOps engineers, cloud engineers, they have networking engineers, they have to work together. The advantage of learning AWS is the same person who learns AWS will able to do the networking task, will able to do the operations task, and will able to automate everything. And that's what we will be teaching during this course. And it's so easy. Once you understand the fundamentals, it's very easy to master these skills. Okay, I hope that clears your doubt about it. And there are a few more roles and jobs available in the market with the basic skills. Junior DevOps engineers, senior DevOps engineers. And once you start learning, doing job, you will master those skills and you will be able to upscale your career based on your skills. Yeah. You can do this research by your own as well. I'm taking itjobwatch.co.uk as my base research site, but you can go and check it online with other placement agencies as well. Okay. Right. So we are nearly at the end of the presentation. Thank you very much for joining us on a Sunday morning. And if you have any questions, we are available for next 10 minutes. And also later on during the day or in a week, if you have any queries, feel free to email to Sam and we will be able to get back to you within 24 to 48 hours. Okay, questions? I will unmute the person who will be interested in asking a question, or you can also put your question in the chat box. Yeah, Drew, what's your question? I have unmuted you, Drew.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Drew.
Hello, hi, good morning, everybody.
Morning.
My question is, obviously, I'm an application support analyst, and my next stage is to go into DevOps. So someone like me, my background, you know, I saw what you presented. So in order to get access to AWS and so on and so forth, and learn these platforms that you did mention, the automation platforms, where do I start? Do I go and register with AWS and then go on to watch CPT videos on this or what?
So it depends, Drew. Thanks for your question, Drew.
Thank you.
It really depends how much time you want to put into this course, right? Now, there are lots of resources available online. If you want to learn on your own pace, AWS is also offering lots of video tutorials. So if you want to learn quickly, I understand you have a support analyst background, so things for learning, things for becoming if you want to become a DevOps engineer, you need to master one of the cloud services, such as AWS is more, I would always recommend learning AWS first, and also the automation tools. If you have any background automating deployment services, have you ever built continuous integration and continuous delivery pipelines, or have you ever prepared Ansible playbooks for config management or Puppet manifests? Those things are required for you to become a DevOps engineer, Drew.
Okay. Can you hear me again? Or
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So do you run training yourself where we could come to a class and go through the whole steps? Because I think that might be better because you can ask your question directly and stuff.
Yep. So this training is a classroom-based training where I will be present there personally for all of the students. Sam has already shared the high-level list of topics we are covering through this course. And we are receiving requests from two types of people. One type of people who are like working in IT as a software tester or a support analyst or a system administrator or a network administrator. So those type of people are going to be in one group if we have enough of them. And the second type of people we are receiving is like complete beginners and they want to learn. So for them, it will be very basic. We have to start from basics. But there's some of overlapping courses as well. So based on the audience and based on the requirements, we are teaching this. But yes, you are right to understand that this is a classroom-based training, and we will be doing hands-on, right? It's not about slides or video tutorials. You will be learning how to build AWS infrastructure and automate the whole process by yourself using YAML, JSON, and other tools.
register, or where we could, the look, where how do we
Yeah.
get into it?
Yeah. So get in touch with Sam. If you are interested, email Sam, and he will get back to you about it.
Okay. Is Sam the chap who opened this training, or?
Yeah. So Sam is the owner of this training institute, and
I
I'm.
have emailed Sam. I actually emailed him beforehand to tell him that I was interested. So hopefully he'll get back to me.
All right. Oh yeah, sure. Definitely, Drew. Nice talking to you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Okay, now who is next? Next is Ajit. Okay, cool. Ajit, yeah. So question from Ajit is how this course will be helpful to the QA people. Very good question, Ajit. So what has happened, as you are working as a QA, you might have seen that the type of application, the way applications were developed in past is changing now. In the past, most of the applications were developed in a monolithic way, right? Big applications developed and then it's difficult to test it. The newer approach for developing applications is like microservices-based event-driven applications. Now, when you are developing event-driven microservices-based applications, you might be using serverless architecture for a bit of your code. You might be using EC2 instances, or you might be using flat files stored on a S3 bucket to serve your purposes. For a QA person, it is more important to understand how this all different component works internally. API gateways, API tokens. You need to understand how the load balancing works under the hood in the cloud architecture and cloud platforms. So for QAs, it would be very, very important for understanding that how the cloud architecture works so they can write their own tests based on their requirements. Event-driven applications. Have you ever heard about event-driven architecture, Ajit? You are on, I have unmuted you.
Hi.
Hi, Ajit, yes.
Yeah, so in my company, we are already using most of the tool which you have mentioned, like Docker,
YAML, yeah, and
Kubernetes,
yeah, okay.
JSON, and YML. In my company, all of these tools are already being used.
Okay.
We are also using microservices and some monolithic services as well.
Yeah.
So I just want to understand that how is this course going to help me? Because,
okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So are you, as a part of your job, it's a very unique requirement you have. So are you developing any infrastructure code? Are you writing any code to deploy services ground up using various components in AWS, or you are deploying it only on-premise tools, or only on-premise infrastructure?
No, actually, in my company, there is one other team, platform engineering, and we are also using AWS.
Okay.
So they are responsible for configuring all of the environment.
Yeah. So then, okay. So you already have a team in place. So yeah, maybe this course may not be very useful to you because this is for people who are interested in learning the DevOps stuff from the operations side.
Yeah, so I also want to learn the DevOps. So that's why I'm asking, how is this course? So whether is this course going to help me or not?
Yeah, it will help because you are not working in that other team who are responsible for building these things. Now, tools, you are using the same tools which we will be learning, but the application of those tools, right? Building infrastructure from code, ground up, using those tools. So that way you will learn. If you will learn AWS services at a bit more detail, you will be able to pass the certifications required. And you will be able to maybe pass one more certification at the end of the course, which is known as the AWS Certified Developers. That will be more useful to you. So I can see easily 70 to 75% of the content which we will be teaching in this course will be new to you.
Okay, so in this course you are going to teach all AWS concept, that how EC2 works, how you configure one location on AWS.amazon.com and all of that stuff, right?
Not only in the console. we will be doing it as in a programmatic way as well, using YAML and JSON. Yes. So there are internal APIs which AWS offers, which is, so if you do it through console, it will take like maybe a bit more time, but when you script it, when you automate it, it will be done in within 5-10 minutes. So yeah, you will be mastering those skills, Ajit.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, all, we are running out of time. Actually, if you have any further questions, please send it to Sam, and he will be definitely able to answer all your questions. And let me see if I can take one more question. Classroom. Okay. Dinesh is asking, Danish is asking whether this course is online or classroom. This course is a classroom-based course where you will have to bring your own laptop. And we will be going through all those required topics one by one, and you will be doing hands-on training. This is a hands-on training. 75 to 80% of the content is hands-on. You will be doing practically rather than just listening to me, listening to the presenter. I will be personally present, and we will be going through those topics listed one by one and understanding how all those topics or all those tools work together to successfully build infrastructure as a code and build your pipelines to deploy services. Rajan, the course details should have been sent to you as a part of the meetup invite. If you scroll down, you will be able to see all the topics we are going to cover in the course. If you haven't received it, please email Sam and he will be able to send it to you. There is another question from Vishwanathan Yadav. So Vishwanathan, it's a good question. Ansible, Terraform, CI/CD, Docker. So what we are going to cover, Terraform, is this course is designed for complete beginners. Okay, we do offer, there is an intermediate to advanced course where we are covering, apart from Kubernetes, we are covering all other contents. We are not yet ready for delivering Kubernetes classroom training. So unfortunately not this time, but maybe after a few months, we will be able to deliver that. The location, okay. Gopinath, question is, where is this classroom-based training based? Please email Sam, but it is near Alperton, in Alperton House. But he will be able to give you the perfect address. I don't have it handy, otherwise I would have given it. Olu is asking that, is there any simulator I'm aware of? So the main idea for this training course is not the simulator, working in real life scenarios. So real life scenarios are very different than simulators, basically. And when you want to learn, we always recommend to learn it in a real life scenario, like building actual stuff rather than simulators. But because the simulators are not capable of replicating all the network related scenarios, and that won't be the ideal situation for those who want to get the skills at the level they want to job. Because when you go into job, when you go for an interview, they will not be able to offer a job based on the simulator training. They will be able to offer you a job on the real life scenarios and real life project you have done using AWS and those tools. All right, guys, actually, that's it. Thank you very, very much again for joining this presentation this morning. Have a lovely day, and hopefully see you in the classroom. And if you have any further questions, please feel free to send it to Sam. Sam will able to reply you within 24 to 48 hours. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.